What's going on, bros? It's your bro, MattyBigChest here talking about fantasy gaming with my fantasy gamers. What's going on? You can find me on Twitter at MattyBigChest. Sorry for that intro. I'm here to give you my Isaballers of Week 4. I'm making this a new series because I called Andy Isabella and Tim Patrick to have big games. Tim Patrick on Thursday Night Football, Andy Isabella against my Lions. I'm calling this series the Isaballers now. So this is the official name for it. We're calling this Flex instead of Flexmeister, it's the Isaballers because that's a way better name. Um, and there's star players out like Derrick Henry, Jonnu Smith, James Conner, Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Harris, Ben Roethlisberger, Ryan Tannehill, and you need some fill-ins. So why not give you some Isaballers this week? So at the quarterback position, if you're in a redraft league, you're looking at Ryan Fitzpatrick, you're looking at Baker Mayfield probably, and you're looking at Kirk Cousins. I would go for maybe a Nick Mullins type or a Kirk Cousins. I like Kirk Cousins a lot better than those names listed. He's a more consistent one, and they're going against the bad Houston defense. Um, and then as we look at running back, I would be pivoting. If you have a Derrick Henry, I'd be pivoting to look at Jeff Wilson Jr. If he's not rostered, he probably is at this point. Rex Burkhead, if he's not rostered. And then maybe a Chase Edmonds. I like him. And Naheem Hines, if he's available. Naheem Hines probably is not available, but in PPR leagues, if you have a Naheem Hines, Chase Edmonds. Cordarrelle Patterson for a Tariq Cohen fill-in, and a Chris Thompson maybe. Chris Thompson is definitely on waivers in almost every league. Um, and then if you're in a really deep league, you could be looking at Jordan Howard and Travis Homer. I think Travis Homer is a good call this week. He's a receiving back, and he got drafted last year to Miami, so he's not going to be. He's going to be, I think, above the depth chart from DJ Dallas. So if Carlos Hyde is hurt, Travis Homer can see the receiving work, and it could be a nice day for him in PPR leagues and deep leagues. And then we're going to talk about my receivers. And this is a interesting list. I'm going to start with my deepest sleeper, Darius Fountain. He's going to be playing this week because Michael Pittman Jr. is hurt. He can jump out of the gym. This guy has insane hops, and I think that's a guy that Philip Rivers is going to throw to. Also on the Colts, Mo Alley Cox. If he's not rostered and you need a tight end because you're missing Johnny Smith, you should get Mo Alley Cox and start. He's had some good games in a row, so he might not be available now, but he's a good start this week. Um, but going back to wide receivers, my favorite wide receiver starts, Hunter Renfrow, Andy Isabella again if DeAndre Hopkins is not a go, MVS from Green Bay, Preston Williams, and N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry has a high target share, so I mean, if they're going to play the Chiefs and they're going to get down fast, they're going to be throwing the ball. So I think N'Keal Harry could have a good game against the Chiefs defense. Preston Williams is 59% rostered in all leagues. He could be a addition if he's available. I think he could have a sneaky game. I'm gonna guess he's. I mean, he had like 14 targets I think last game, so he looks pretty good. Um, and then I'd say Greg Ward from Philadelphia. I think Greg Ward's usable this week. There's not really any healthy wide receivers besides Zach Ertz in Philadelphia, so I think Greg Ward's the other option, and he could have nice receiving yards, similar to a Jamison Crowder kind of role. Um, he's a really like good slot receiver. He's sticky hands, man. Played quarterback coming out of college and switched to wide receiver. He's good. So with Scantling, I think he's going to have a bigger role with Allen Lazard out, but the guy that I would be playing from the Green Bay Packers the most is Robert Tonyan. Remember the name, Robert Tonyan, guys. Might have like 2 touchdowns this week. We don't know. He's a tight end wide receiver. He's a seam buster. He's a Darren Waller this year. Um, that is a big claim. So I'm sorry if I offended you guys, but he's on my teams a lot, so I really like him. Another guy at wide receiver that I would be targeting is Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk had um, like 6 or 7 targets in his first game, and I see him continuing to have a good breakout performance for 2020. I really like him. He's a good like running back playing wide receiver, similar to Devo. He gets the ball in the backfield and he can make a man miss. Um, Similar to Golden Tate, and Golden Tate is a guy that I'd be picking up and thinking he'd have a good week. He's a guy to keep an eye on. I think another guy to keep an eye on is Andy Isabella again. If DeAndre, like I said, if DeAndre Hopkins is not a go, and he is a baller, he's gonna be a baller again, dude. He is fast. He reminds me of Danny Amendola, but faster, like a lot faster. But there's just the way he kind of body catches it is similar to Amendola. I don't mean like he runs routes. Danny Amendola is a playoff monster, so it's not like a diss towards Andy Isabella because Danny Amendola is great in his own right. Um, and then I think Christian Kirk, if he's back, could have a good week if DeAndre Hopkins is out. Keep an eye on Chenault. If DJ Chark is out with his chest injury. Um, but my favorite tight end option this week is Robert Tonyan. And then I'd say Mo Alley Cox, and then maybe Logan Thomas. So those are three names that I'll throw out there for you guys. Ideally, you won't be starting many of these guys in week four. Ideally, you have good studs, but I mean, I'm just giving these for people who probably don't have a their team's probably hurting right now, so I'd like to give them some options to stream because I'm missing some Tennessee players, I'm missing some Pittsburgh players. This it sucks. It really is a bummer for us. So we need to pivot, and I think the best way to pivot is to find your sleepers, find your late sleepers, like Andy Isabella or T Higgins. T Higgins is a rookie who is big, physical, going to get some red zone targets as well. Um, so you need to pivot and you need to be smart about it. You need to submit your lineups. I'm in a lot of leagues. I am lazy sometimes and I don't submit my lineups. And it's important to make sure that you're submitting your lineups because it's not fun for everyone if you're not submitting your lineups. Um, I know that it is a bummer that you're missing your Jonnu Smiths and Derrick Henrys, but please do replace them in your lineups. It's important that you keep the integrity of your league, and you don't want your league to fall apart because you look like you're tanking. So make sure to set your lineups if you're in like 30 leagues like I am. So I'm going to be doing that today while I'm watching college football. I hope you all enjoy college football and enjoy week four of the NFL. We're crossing our fingers that it's not a bloodbath again of injuries, and I hope y'all have a good Saturday.